somebody asked me a question that I really haven't been asked before, and it might give you the answer of what you want to grow, because it made me stop, but I answer quite quickly. Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I was watering my garden. I decided to prop my camera up and talk to you for a few moments. The other day somebody asked me, if you could grow only one type of vegetable or food plant, what would you grow? Wow, what would I grow? I hope to never be in that position where I could only grow one, because it would also matter on where I was growing it, how I was growing it, where I was living, how I was living, what the climate was, and all that. And I had all these things running through my head, because you know how I love zucchini and how I love my walking onions and how I love my lettuce. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, what a great question. And to analyze that, I know some of you are screaming, you know what it is. If I had one plant, and only one type of plant that I could grow, for whatever reason, I was not allowed to grow anything else, one edible plant, I think it'd be my friend right here. I do believe I would pick the tree colored. And you go, wait a minute, you love zucchini. Zucchini's your favorite. It is. But there's a reason why I would never pick that as my only plant to grow. I love my walking onions. They produce and grow everywhere, and I give so many away, and they keep going. But I wouldn't pick that either. Now, why would I pick the tree colored? Thinking about it, and I answered him actually quite quickly after I gave it a little bit of a thought, and everything kept running through my head. Tree colored will grow in almost any climate, in any weather. It doesn't matter if it's 110. People grow it in the desert. It doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees, 20 degrees. It'll keep growing. It'll grow better at certain times of the year, but it can survive, my friend, almost any weather. If you get snow and it's established them enough, most of them make it. They just kind of sit there. You know what's funny with tree colored? When the weather gets really cold, and here we don't really normally freeze that much, but when it does get cold, it tastes better. So when our weather drops down to 50, 40, and even 30 degrees, the stems on this are incredibly sweet. When you break this off in the winter, I'm trying to break one off, you never throw away the stems. And there's a lot of things you can do with the stems. This almost tastes like sugar. It is so sweet. You can use the leaves for whatever you want to do, whether you're going to make a wrap out of it, whether you're going to make chips out of it, you know, like kale chips. You can do that with tree colored. You can steam it. You can saute it with butter. You can make coleslaw out of it. You can make almost anything you want. I put it in green drinks. But the stem in the winter is real sweet. Right now, I don't think it's that sweet because we've been hot. Actually, it's quite good. It is good. But in the winter, it's exceptionally sweet. It's a plant that produces itself constantly. And what does that mean? Seeds? No, you don't want the seeds. Though there's nothing wrong with the seeds. The thing is, it may not grow true as a tree colored. It might go back and become a bush and sprawl along the ground. It's hard to say what it's going to do. The leaves could be small or big. You don't know what it's going to do, because this is actually a plant you want to get cuttings from. And you can find them online a lot of places. If somebody wants to send you seeds, I would say no, but you know I don't like saying no. The thing is, keep in mind that it may not grow the way you want it to grow, but it's still going to taste good. It's still going to be good to eat. When I say it produces on itself, it sends out side shoots. You break those little ones off. It doesn't matter if it's that big or that big. Stick it in a pot with some soil, keep it wet, and don't put it in direct sunlight while it's rooting, and you'll end up with hundreds of plants. So my one plant of choice could end up giving me a field of food. This is food that you would have all year. I would be able to eat all year, bring greens into me all year. Where if I took zucchini, truthfully, what is it? 4 months out of the year, I'm going to get food. Then what's going to happen? You don't have anything. Yeah, I can collect the seeds, but I don't have anything to eat unless I froze a lot. Walking onions, that's really good, but it's almost an herb. It's something you're going to add to a salad or add to something. It's not the actual food to sit and munch on all day. Oh, I'm not saying you can't do that. It tastes really good, especially if you love onions. But this is food. This is something you could chop up, put on a frying pan with a little oil or butter, and throw in, if you wanted to, chicken or not, or other food you had, other vegetables, and you can make a meal out of this. Now, when I'm making a green drink, I tend to put the leaves in. I make different types of green drinks. It depends on what I'm making. But keep in mind the stems have a lot of nutrition in it. Actually, I heard a doctor talking about it, and I thought, what do you mean that there's more nutrition in the stems than there are in the leaves? And then I thought about it. What do people make? Leaf mold versus wood chips? The wood chips is full of nutrition for plants, and the leaf mold has very little. And actually it makes sense, not to say this isn't wonderful. This is an amazing plant. It would definitely be the tree colored, and without a doubt, this is something I could share. This is something I can continue to grow, and I can grow it on my windowsill. Even if it got the worst of weather and everything was underneath snow, you can always take cuttings and put it in the windowsill. It'll last all winter if worst came to worst, and then come, well, I don't even want to say spring. As soon as weather got a little bit better, you put it outside and it would just take off and grow. And it grows massive. I mean, they can grow 15 feet tall, or you can just keep them small. Think about it. If you're living in an apartment or living in a small area and you want to grow something to eat in your flower garden, this really does make a great plant to grow. It's beautiful, it's attractive, and you shape it. You grow it to the size you want. And I think you'll be amazed by that, because there's so many things you can do with it. So my choice of plant, if I only had one to grow, would be the tree colored, because it will feed me 365 days of the year, even including leap year. And I'd be able to get nutrition. Even if it was simply by taking a leaf or two off, putting it in a blender with some water and drinking it, I would get great beneficial minerals, nutrients, everything from a single leaf of tree color. So I hope I gave you something to think about. And make sure you get cuttings when you get it. Unless you don't care, you can get seeds. But I have noticed here the seeds kind of sprawl when they grow. It doesn't really grow usually like a tree colored. You really want cuttings, and all you need is one successful cutting, and you can have all the plants that you want. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. I hope this gave you something to think about, because it gave me something to think about. Bye! What an amazing, beautiful plant. And I didn't even mention it makes the greatest compost tea or compost for other plants as well. And itself.